Right guys, today we're going to be talking about something called take taba, which are bamboo bundles. Now, what I'm going to do here is obviously work from the Book of Samurai series, and we are on page 202, but also we're going to jump ahead to 207 with that one. So just remember that image there. So what we find here, so this image here, which is how it is in the original scroll, is actually that. So this is one of those round bundles, but of course medieval people didn't, they had quite bad perspective. So what you've got here is a framework of wood or bamboo with bamboo bundles tied up against it. This can be in the ground, solid, or if it's called mochi take taba, it's actually got another bar there, and you can then pick these up and move it, or it's driven into the ground. The other one is the rolling version. This is excellent, this one. So you make a frame, a pyramid frame, a prism frame, if you like, of bamboo or wood, and you put bamboo in its side of it. And this you can just roll like a wheel, like a triangular wheel, clink, 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 and you actually get behind it, and the arrows can shoot in. You can snap them all off or get them back. The arrows shoot in. How well this would work against muskets, I'm not sure, but remember, samurai were both attacked by both muskets and arrows, and remember the bamboo is most likely to be green because it's just been cut. So probably not the yellow bamboo you're used to, it's probably the green bamboo that's just being cut, or at least greenish to a tinge to it. So if you're a Natori student, make sure you go on the hub and discuss this. And has anybody ever tried making a model of this? This would be really good to make. Right guys, today we're going to work on fences. We're working from the Book of Samurai, Arms, Armor and the Tactics of Warfare. Right, we've got Saku Furio no Koto. Basically, Saku is the word here, it focuses on fence, and there are different types. Now, this is quite a solid fence. What goes on in the middle is a different case entirely, but we're looking at the posts here. They're in the ground, you can see. But you get to some fences where the only two posts are in the ground and the rest are connected on. Obviously more secure, less secure. Depends on if you want to do it in a hurry. Even less secure is like just one beam at the top, one beam at the top, secured in like that. The next one is the permanent one, which are secured fence posts, but with lots of thorny branches, which have taken maybe a year, 10 years, 100 years to grow. So they're permanently there with like gnarled, horrible branches with spikes on. These you get the kuji gates, which are basically, this is kuji bamboo either side of a fence, and you tie your flags to this. You then get diagonal ones where they do it, the bamboo in diagonal. You then get walkway fences, which are samurai will walk, but on the side of a compound or a mound. But you also then get blockage fences, so a walkway, which the samurai walk on, and a blockage fence to stop people going up. Fences which go under the water, which are spiked. Now, this is where we get a divergence in Nato-Ryu's Kuden. So we get two versions of this barrier type. That is a tripwire next to a hole, or a single hole, multiple tripwires all over. This is actually one of the splits in the school. So you have one teaching and two teachings. We don't have these two teachings in each line of the school. One line of the school taught this, another line of the school taught this. So we're not sure which is the original. Right, guys, if you want to know more about samurai, you want to grab yourself a copy of Samurai Arms, Armor and the Tactics of War. Right guys, today we're going to be working on castles. This is Nato-Ryu skills, and we're working from the Book of Samurai, page 187. Sorry, it's not focusing there. 187, and we're here in Jimba Bugyo. Now, Jimba is literally like battle camp. Bugyo is commander. So battle camp commander, or magistrate of the battle camp. Now the red is the enemy, the green is us. Now our castle is here, and what we have, this little sort of rainbow thing, is actually an outside horse gate, where when you come out you can defend against behind there and then move outwards. Then you have what's called toride. Now these toride, some towns are called toride because they were actually near the castle settlements. So what you get is toride. This means your main forces can go out and take refuge in the toride because it's a fortress, and then move on to this, which is tsukejiro, which means strike castle. So basically the idea is you can strike the castle from your striking castle. So a force would build their torides, and then they're striking castles. And this might work two ways across different terrain and between multiple opponents, but this is how you don't just go from your castle to their castle. You build fortresses, and these are temporary fortresses. These are sort of semi-permanent. This is permanent, or, you know, permanent for the entire battle. This is literally just a camp hut, you know what I mean, but fortified palisades and everything, and you must control this area. But it means you can go out without, and you can get your men towards the enemy castle without being attacked, so that you have no defenses. So for Natoryu students, make sure you're studying this. These are castles, toride, or external areas, external parts, fortifications, and this is tsukejiro, external strike castles. So that's how it works. It's different stages to get to the end. Right, guys, welcome to this Natori video. Today we're going to be talking about fire used in combat. We are, of course, using the Book of Samurai series, and we're on page 184 if you want to go and have a look. So we've got two things here: yaki bata raki and yaki no ki. Yaki means to burn, to grill, fire, basically, in Japanese. Now, this first one, yaki bata raki, which is quite a mouthful, say it 3 times. The idea here is that our forces here, the Natori forces, are going to invade this place. And what you do to make your men very, very stern, aggressive, or they're going to go through with it, you burn your bridges, burn your ships, and you say, we either die on this plain or we take that castle. So that is that, yaki bata raki. Now, this one, yaki no ki, is different. The enemy have got us on the run. We're retreating. It might be a tactical withdrawal. It might genuinely, we've got to go. Samurai did retreat. So what you do is you burn behind you so the smoke goes in the eyes of them. Of course, the wind direction has got to be going this way. So if you get the wind direction wrong here, it can be dangerous for you, and you can end up lost in the smoke. So the wind has got to be going that way. Or what you would do here is, if possible, retreat into the wind and then set fires, and then they would get, you know, it would really sort of affect the other army. So there we are. That is the 2 ways of using fire with troops. Right, guys, today from Natoryu we are working on Otoshiana. So these are pit traps, and we're working from the Book of Samurai, and we are on page 203. So we're on this page there, 203. And there they are. Now, these are dugout traps where you put some greenery on top of it and a little bit of soil, and you actually start to grow saplings on it, or at least make it look like there's bits growing all over it, so it doesn't just get like a dry patch. You cover it in water from rice so that it gets the rice bit on it, which makes it blend in. Basically, you blend it in, and then you put spikes or caltrops at the bottom. And you would place this in 3 different areas. 1 on a narrow path, 2 on a steep incline, or 3 where landslides are going to happen. Mainly the reason for this is it slows people down. These are never going to stop an army, but they'll slow people down. On a narrow path, they have to check exactly where you can't spread out. On a steep incline, you're forever checking. It stops people getting up a hill fast, if you know what I mean. They have to slow down to check they're not going to spike their foot on anything as they go through the foliage and the underbrush and everything. And then where there's a landslide, if you get a commotion underneath it, you might hopefully set the landslide off. It doesn't quite explain why it should be there, but, you know, this is a place you're not going to want to linger in if you're an army, but foot traps make you linger there. So there you go, guys. That's Otoshiana, which are footfall traps.